Greetings and salutations, everybody. I am back. I've successfully made it through the holidays, and I got two short videos up during that time, and a really short one, which was literally just my cat. And somehow it racked up at the time of this video over 820 views. Got me. I have no idea why. Anyways, got another throwback review here. Not going as far back as the 80s, but close. This is for Pump Up the Volume from 1990, starring Lynn Shay, who also starred in The Call, which I did a review of as well. Okay, it's not really starring her, but she is in it. She has a bit role. Who it does star is Christian Slater and Samantha Mathis. And though you may also recognize this guy Ellen Green, who was in Little Shop of Horrors, and Seth Green, who's the creator of Robot Chicken and director of Changeland. But getting into this a bit more, here's a synopsis that I came across. In Arizona, an introverted and insightful teenager, Mark Hunter, Christian Slater, finds an outlet for his viewpoints through a shortwave radio. Broadcasting as Hard Harry, Hunter uses his pirate radio show to rant against the injustices and hypocrisies taking place in the area and in society in general. Hunter conceals his off-air identity, but a determined student, Samantha Mathis, discovers the truth while Principal Creswood seeks to shut Hunter down once and for all. Pretty good, that one. I saw some others out there which put a couple of spoilers in there, so I'm kind of avoiding those, but yeah, at its core, that's what this is about. And really, when this was released in 1990, I was at just the right age for this. I was a perfect demographic for it, and I really took to it. I loved everything about it. Luckily, as time ran on, this one, though I hardly ever hear anything about it, I never hear this film mentioned anywhere these days or referenced, it's actually aged very well and stood the test of time. So, of course, there will be some dated references and situations in this. For example, these days anybody can find a voice online. But so going into this film, one needs to really understand that in 1990, computers were expensive, and even if you could get one, the internet wasn't really a thing yet. Technically, it existed, but not only was it just being slowly made available to the general public, it was very slow, so there's no video or audio. It was not easily accessible by most people. And so back then, having access to a shortwave radio was one of the only ways to really get out there and reach an audience. These days, we can just turn on our phone and not only reach however far we can go full 4K video live for everyone to see. So we take that access for granted at times. So just keep that in mind when watching this. Understand that not only was this the best for his, for Christian Slater's character and others, as far as what they could possibly do and how they could reach an audience, there was also zero competition. So if somebody was broadcasting in your city, you could tune in and there would likely be nobody else to compete with. So understanding that and getting that out of the way, Slater's character has a strong, like Lenny Bruce and Holden Caulfield kind of vibe to him. He's a free thinker who's kind of had it with as I mentioned, the hypocrisy that he has been seeing in this standard suburban family unit, as well as, and especially at his school. So he vents about it. I almost said online because it's just stuck in my brain there, but he vents about it via his show, plays new music, and so of course the students at his school are tuning in, and eventually his influence and audience just grows, aided with the uncovering of some bad practices at his school that he's now been airing over the airwaves. Because of that, parents and teachers are trying to find a way to shut him down, and they even get the FCC involved at some point. So during this, the student figures out who he is and kind of serves as some additional motivation and inspiration, pushing him to share his voice, and so many students have benefited from these rants of his, as well as being introduced to new music that they'd never heard before. And as far as the music goes, I still have this. Compact disc. Kids, this is what they had before MP3s, but after tapes and 8-tracks and vinyl, which is coming back. It's all confusing. Anyways, I still have this from around 1990, 1991 maybe was when I got this. It's actually hard to find these days at a decent price, but on this soundtrack and, worked into the film in several segments is, music by Concrete Blonde, Liquid Jesus, The Pixies, Bad Brains with Henry Rollins, got Peter Murphy, Above the Law, Sonic Youth, Cowboy Junkies, and even Soundgarden, to name, most of what's mentioned in there. But moving on from that soundtrack, in my opinion, this movie moves along really well. Seeing our lead slowly gain this following and gain this popularity, realizing his influence, and even getting a bit spooked with this popularity as it grows, because at heart, at least since this character that Slater plays had moved from the East Coast to Arizona, he's very introverted. And Slater plays that aspect of this character extremely well throughout the entire film as it grows and it works towards an admittedly quick resolution, which is honestly the only negative thing that I could say about this. I was in it for wherever the story was going to take me, and luckily, even rewatching it just recently, years later, trying to remove those rose-tinted glasses of nostalgia, it really holds up well and is worth the watch. So where can you watch it? Got me. According to Just Watch, it's not streaming anywhere. It's on no services. I did find a YouTube playlist for it where somebody has posted the entire film but broken up into little 5-minute segments, which is not really ideal by any means, but it's also available on DVD, and I didn't know this until this week. It's available on Blu-ray as well. Personally, I watched it on this, a DVD from 1999 that I still have in my possession. So, like my previous reviews for some other throwback titles, which I'll put some of the links in the description, you may have a hard time tracking this one down, but if you're so inclined, I highly recommend checking it out. And speaking of checking it out, thanks for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon so that way you'll get a notification when I do post something new. Share this video around and check out some of my back catalog because it really helps the channel. And I will see you in the next one.